Do you attract, so what kind of men do you attract that come up to you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I get, okay, so I'm gonna be really honest. So first things first, obviously, like I'm a bigger girl and I was raised without that insecurity. My mom raised me, I never knew I was different. And I was very blessed growing up that I wasn't bullied because where I grew up in Sonoma County, it's predominantly like a Palangi and Mexican community, right? So obviously I sound like a sore thumb. I was in the fourth grade, 5 feet tall, bigger than every kid in my class. But anyway, so for me, like I have been very fortunate to where like I've not really had any issues. Um, not no, let me take that back. I have expectations and I have standards. And as a big girl, I feel like it's never okay to like for a big girl to like have expectations or to be particular because we're supposed to just take whatever comes our way. I have gotten everything from someone who is unemployed to someone who is successful in their career. And for me, again, like I'm not, the one thing that I will say when a career matters to me, which is why like the guy that didn't have a job, nobody really knew about him because my dad wouldn't have that. My dad would not be okay with me being with somebody who wouldn't be able to provide and care for me financially. And again, that's just him being a dad. That's him wanting the best for me. Did I care about that? No, I didn't. But I knew the flack that I would get for it. So that guy never made the cut. But yeah, I mean, I've all walks of life. I find that men get really bold with me and I don't get it. I'm still someone where like someone will walk up to me and be like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, no, that's okay. But it's not because I'm like, let me see your wallet. Like, no, like I'm not attracted to you and I'm okay with that. I'm confident enough to know like I'm pretty, like I'm a big girl, but I'm a pretty big girl. And like I have standards and what is meant for me will not miss me. And I trust that wholeheartedly, you know? So it's like, if I have to navigate through this season, you know, of, you know, not being in a, you know, serious relationship or being married, like I'm okay with that because I know that my purpose in life is bigger than me being concerned about being in a relationship. I went through that phase in my life where I felt like I didn't know how to be alone. I was a serial dater where it was like one relationship wouldn't work out. So I had one in queue. And that was like a thing for me because I didn't know, I got to the point where like I didn't know how to be alone. So at that point in my own sense of desperation of not wanting to be alone, my standards, my morals, my expectations all went out the door. I was going to date whoever was giving me attention and telling me that I was pretty. But what wasn't really being maintained was the level of loyalty. And even in that point, like I said, like there was a relationship where I was cheated on numerous times and I should have left the first time, but I didn't. I stayed for 4 times total. And for me at that time in my life, that was like my ultimate act of love, was sacrificing myself to be with this one person that I loved so much. And I believe so much in their potential just for it to fall out because I ended up realizing that like one day it was like, okay, I need to like set myself free because it's not worth it for me to be in a space where like they obviously don't care about me and I'm clearly not caring about me by continuing to stay here. So I think for me, like again, I completely, none of this like I receive and I appreciate these conversations, but I think for me too, like there is a lot of like, I think that we do need to normalize having expectations. I think that we do need to remove the expectation of like financial like status. Cause at the end of the day, like, it's like you said, you know, for me, I was raised that same way where like men are the providers, they're the caretakers, you know, and like, as a woman, like, you know, I watched my mom, you know, she took care of us. The house was clean, laundry was always done, food was always made, you know, but at the same time for me, like in taking parts of like my generation infused with the old school ways that I was raised, I do believe in a partnership. And I do believe that that is what keeps the load balanced between the two, because I don't think that a man should always bear all the financial burdens. Like that's a lot. Like, for example, you know, if you have a wife who's a stay-at-home mom and then you guys have 4 kids and all 4 kids play sports, they want to play an instrument, you know, they want to do after school extracurricular activities, that's a lot of financial burden to bear, you know? And so for me personally, like if I had a husband and we had kids and I knew he was the only one working and our kids wanted to do A through Z, I want to be able to give them that. you know? And so if that means that I have to be like, hey, like, let me get a job, or like, let me figure out a way to help you out, like, trust, I'm gonna do that. I don't need you to tell me to do it, but like, that's me loving you back, you know, and honoring, you know, my husband who does everything so I can stay home, be pretty, be loyal, and raise our kids.
No, when I say guys, no, like when I say guys don't have to be the only provider, no, like the guys, like they don't mind if their partner, I don't mind if my partner works. I'm just saying is, but for me to feel comfortable in my role as a man, to feel like a man, I have to be the one to be able to provide and protect. If the woman is the one doing majority of it, for a lot of men, it's for number one, a lot of men understand that if the woman is the one being the main supporter, like statistically, she's gonna leave you. It's just gonna eventually just gonna happen. Maybe you're the only one that's the exception, but for most women, they can't be around with a guy that's not doing something with his life. That's just how women are. Because for you guys, you value what he brings to the table, as far as his financial, his ability to record, take care of you. But when you said something about you want a guy that's very emotional, like the way I see it is, I just feel like a lot of girls today, you guys, we grew up in this very like Disney era where you guys watch these Disney movies and all you guys want is this Prince Charming, the loving, emotional, sweep you off your feet, be romantic, and that's what you guys are looking for. But in reality, is most men, especially the type of men that you guys look for, that very masculine men, those men are not gonna just come and be very emotional with you in the beginning.
Right,
That's what you guys are
100%.
looking for, right? So, and you said that, you know, the lot of guys that come up to you and they ask you, hey, what's up, and you don't give them time of the day, right? You kind of like dodge them. Is that what you said?
I'm not necessarily dodge. I mean, yeah, okay, maybe a little bit, but like,
All right.
I just don't, if I'm not fit, like, okay, and this is where for me, like, I feel like, you know, when you, whether it's meeting someone like online, because online dating is a thing, like
Yeah.
meeting someone publicly, like, yeah, I'm gonna base it off of initial attraction. And if I don't think you're cute, it's nothing personal, not, you know, that's just my preference, is what it is. And I'm not gonna feel the need to settle just because, I mean, you know, it's, I don't,
No, I just find it hard. Based on what your answer is like you value emotion and connection and communication, but those things that takes time, right? It takes time to build.
totally.
So I'm just saying is for you to not give guys time of the day because and just rejecting them for whatever reason you have. But the thing is, the things that you're looking for, like how you gonna find those things if you're not even giving them the opportunity?
I'm not physically attracted to them. That's why I shoot them down. And I don't think that
physically.
there's anything wrong with that, because I feel like if there's no initial physical attraction when you meet someone, because honest, and that's the thing too, like people want to be like, oh no, it shouldn't matter what you look like. No, like it kind of does though.
Okay.
And I think it's okay. I think that it's okay. You know, it's like you said, well, like as long as they're, you know, as long as she's pretty to you, then that's what matters. I'm the same way. Like I can have a boyfriend that maybe my sister don't think is cute or my mom don't, and I don't care about that, because to me, he's cute. Now, I feel this is how I look at it. You get the physical attraction that initiates the interaction, and then the conversations that happen following that physical attraction, between mutual physical attraction, segues into deciding whether or not you're going to pursue it. Because I'm not someone where I'm like, oh, you're cute, I want to date you. No, you're cute, I want to be your friend. Because if we can't be friends, we can't be in a relationship, period. So if we can't have a conversation or have a beer and watch a basketball game, or, you know, whatever it may be, then like we have nothing.
Or take shots. Oh,
hey, great. I mean, wait, yes, that part, but that's the thing too, right? Because I think that there's a lot of separation with like, you know, I'm gonna go out with my guy, with the boys, I'm gonna go out with the girls. No, like if you can't drink with your significant other and get tossed and have a good time, then what are you doing? You know, like I firmly, and you're right, the Disney thing, that's a real thing for me. I agree. But however, I feel like you create your own romance story, you know, like, and that's based on whether or not you can be friends with your significant other. And that's for me like a big thing. I am so old fashioned where I believe in the courting stage, where it's like the talking, getting to know each other. Like I want to know things about you before we initiate being in a relationship or entertain dating. Like yeah, if you don't know, like, I don't know. I guess I just feel like you should know about someone before taking the plunge, because like you said, you know, communication, loyalty, those kinds of things, it does take time. But in order for that time to take place, there has to be a trust developed.
Okay.
And if the trust is not developed, then, you know, who's to say that you're really getting sincere, authentic interactions, you know, or sincere, authentic character. Anyways, yeah, I talk too much. I told y'all.
No, that's fine. No, I'm just saying is like a lot of things you guys said, and that's, you know, that's your experience. But what I'm saying is, for a lot of the women that say they didn't want all those emotions, but then when you finally look at the results of the man they marry, it's always the man that is financially taking care of it, regardless if that's what they say in the beginning. So that's good, you know, it's good. At least you guys have hope of what you guys are looking for.